Hello and welcome back to the When You're podcast, the podcast for when you're doing anything. Today we're talking about when you're getting ready for Halloween. That's right. For my audio listeners only, I am wearing a Winnie the Pooh onesie. This is my Halloween costume. I decided to get it early just for this podcast, just so that way, before they skyrocket the prices on the costumes and everything, this is the time to do it. This is when they start increasing the prices. It's October already. So they start increasing the prices on all the costume because everybody's going to wait till the last minute or until they come up with an idea and order it from Amazon. And then everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's, a lot of costumes are going to come in last minute. Or maybe they're going to go to Spirit Halloween. But first things first, who made Halloween on a Monday? That is criminal. That is really criminal. Why can't we just make it the whole weekend? Why can't we just make it Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday? You go out and you trick or treat. Just make it a whole holiday, or make Monday an actual holiday where you don't have to go to work or you don't have to go to school or anything. It's just that day is free day. But obviously nobody recognizes it as such, so you have to go to school and then you have to go trick or treat on it just feels really weird to do it on a Monday. It's criminal. It's really criminal. It's against the law, really. If you look at the Halloween laws, if you look at witchcraft laws, it's against it. It's criminal. It's not right. You can't do that this is really the only time of the year where people are able to be crazy, if that makes sense. People are really allowed to go off and do things that they would normally never do. This is the only holiday that promotes that or celebrates that, That and 4th of July, but we're more focused on Halloween right now. And it really is the initial start of everything else, of all the rest of the holidays, because the rest of the holidays throughout the rest of the year are going to be really nice. They're going to be very sweet. And my biggest issue with having Halloween on a Monday is that you can't do that because it just feels wrong. Everybody knows it feels wrong. Everybody knows that Halloween is a Friday or Saturday event. Definitely Saturday. Why did I even say Friday? It's definitely a Saturday event. You pregame on Friday, and then Saturday you really get ready, and then Sunday you have to chill. You take a break from all of the Halloween shenanigans. It's November 1st, and you can finally be like, where's the turkey? You can't do it on a Monday because then that messes up the rest of the week. You have the rest of the week to go through. You got Tuesday, you got Wednesday, you got Thursday, you got Friday, and now you blew out on a Monday, and now you can't. What's going to happen? You can't enjoy the rest of the week. You can't be cool the rest of the week. You're going to be hungover or, crazy. You're going to be like, oh, man, I just went through it on Monday, and everybody's going to be like, yeah, I just stayed home and had some candy. But you went out and you partied. So how does this? It doesn't make any sense. You can't do it. It's illegal. It's a crime, really. So Halloween is actually on Saturday, the 29th, and we're just going to, all weekend long, it's going to be Halloween. You're going to go out, you're going to get your candy and do all this stuff. Because there's no rules to this. This is the only holiday without any rules, right? This is the only holiday where we get to decide. Christmas is decided. No, Thanksgiving is decided because that's when they usually let kids out for school. They give them the whole break off. Halloween is the only time where we get to make the choices on the holiday. There's no other holiday. 4th of July is decided. Easter is decided. That's why we have spring break. New Year's is decided, right? Even Valentine's Day is decided on a specific day of the year, which, it is what it is. But what we really get to choose is Halloween. This is our holiday. And it doesn't just last the one day. We do it throughout the whole month because we really want to enjoy it. So when you're getting ready for Halloween, I want to talk about some of the things that people like to do, that I like to do, to really get in the spooky season mood. It's spooky season, everybody. It really is spooky season. So, first things first, Halloween marathon. You gotta do a horror movie or some sort of scary movie or something Halloween themed throughout the month of October. This is a fact. If you don't do this, you're really not enjoying the richness, everything that Halloween has to offer, that October really is. If you waste it and you watch if you watch like a happy-go-lucky movie, like if you watch what's a like a really mushy gushy kind of movie, like if you watch maybe How to Get a Guy in 10 Days or How to Break Up, whatever that movie is with Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey. If you watch rom-coms in October and Halloween, you've wasted the whole month. You can't do that. You can watch that in November or December when it's really like about family and relationships and all this other stuff. But Halloween is dedicated only to horror movies, to thrillers, to really anything that scares you or surprises you, suspense. So you can't waste it. That doesn't mean it can't be lighthearted, but there has to be some sort of scary element. Like Monsters, Inc. is a monsters-based film. So it's kind of in the theme of Halloween. It's a bit, they scare kids. That's the whole premise of the movie. And then Monsters University, the sequel, or the prequel, really just like the sequel prequel, that is about going to a school for scaring, to scare kids. And that's definitely one of the movies that I watch, during Halloween. It's just a good combo, a really good combo. And then you got to watch, what was that movie? Oh my gosh, I can't, The Witch Blair Project. Is that what it's called? The Witch Blair Project. You got to watch that. That's a classic. If you don't watch that on Halloween, you're missing out. Okay? I think that's what it's called. I can't remember. It's just that documentary style where they film it and it's kind of like cheap and it's really downgraded, but it's really, really good. And it's a classic. It's definitely a classic. And it's like inspired everybody else to like copy it or like do something similar. And there's a bunch of scary movies out there. You could watch Hereditary. That's pretty scary. I mean, you could even argue Midsummer. Midsummer is pretty creepy. I mean, it's creepy in the sense of like what happens. Like me wearing this is like a little Midsummer, it's a little Midsummer shout out. It's a little, Easter egg about the movie. But what was I talking about? Yeah. You have to watch something scary. If you miss out, and that's every day, every night, I'm going to be doing this. You could watch crime dramas, those serial killer documentaries. Just something that gets you in the Halloween spirit, something like that Dahmer Netflix docuseries, something like that, something that really gets you going for Halloween. And there's also a bunch of movies coming out for Halloween. They're coming out with they always have like that exorcism movie where it's like they have to exorcise somebody and the priests are there and they kind of do the whole religious aspect to it. Then they have Jane Lynch, who does the Halloween movies. She's like still going on with this. She's still like keeping it up, fighting Michael Myers, which is cool. I have no problem with that, just as long as it's good, it's well done. So there's that. You have the Scream movies and that kind of franchise that they keep trying to promote out there. You got, I was about to say Freddie Gibbs. I mean Freddy Krueger. Is that what it is? Freddy Krueger. You got Jason. All kinds of stuff. Friday the 13th. There's so many movies. And you have to watch them during this. This is the only time where it's acceptable to watch. I can't name another time when I went to the movies to watch really a horror movie. Like really like suspenseful. That's like with jump scares. Like I talked about Don't Worry Darling and I talked about The Invitation. But those don't feel like horror movies. They just feel like regular thrillers. They don't scare me in the same way that maybe like some people are scared by Paranormal Activity or other stuff, other kinds of movies. But there's also cute Halloween. There's also like fun and cute Halloween. You know, you got people giving out spooky baskets, which is definitely become a popular favorite. I don't know another thing that came out during like 2018, 2019-ish time of the year, where everybody was like, look at the spooky basket I got, or everybody was talking about the frosted cookies and doing Halloween dates and doing all this stuff. The spooky baskets is really like a cute way to like decorate and do what you want and to give it to somebody who you like and to have fun with Halloween. Fill it with a bunch of like maybe candles and candy and all this other stuff, which is really, really cute. And people are like writing "Be My Boo" on it, and it's just like, you know, it is what it is. But there's a way to have a spooky aesthetic throughout the month. You know, you can definitely go through your goth phase or your emo phase. You can really just lean into that, and nobody will be like, oh, that's weird. Like, why all of a sudden have you changed? Like, everybody's like, oh, you're doing that for Halloween. I get you. I understand why you're doing that. That's cool. Man, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should get that bat tattoo I wanted. Maybe I should get that moth tattoo I wanted, you know? That's what October is really all about. It's just doing the things you would never normally do, and especially the weird, creepy stuff that you would never normally do. So if you've been planning on getting that scary tattoo of like a skull or of like spiders or whatnot, and you just want to get it done, this is the month to do it. If you dare wait, then everybody will look at you and be like, why did you, like, you can't do it in March. You can't plan for Halloween in March, because everybody's going to be like, but why didn't you just do it in like late September or October, like, and just wait out the rest of the weeks? You know what I mean? That way you actually get it on October or on Halloween. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And if you go through your like goth emo phase, or, you know, maybe you're just goth and emo, if you're doing that and it's just all year round, it's not as special when you do it on Halloween. It's just like, oh, it's just regular. She looks normal. She didn't get dressed up. She didn't put effort into this holiday, into this month. But when you wait just the right amount of time to do it on the 1st of October, like complete shift, complete change of wardrobe, makeup, hairstyle, skin, tattoos, and whatnot, that's when it's like, oh, that's cool. They're doing it right. They went full Wednesday. They did it completely different. No color, just complete pale, dark colors, and that's what I would like to do someday. I mean, I'm not really the goth type, I guess. It's never crossed my mind to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do a goth style. It just doesn't feel like me. It doesn't feel right. So for me, I put on stuff like this, and I just, you know, I try to make Halloween fun and exciting, but in a spooky, cool kind of way, in a cool way, you know? I don't go for the bad boy emo type. That's not my thing. Even though, I mean, I would like it to be my thing, I just don't feel like that's my thing. So, and it's more than just how you dress, right? Because obviously you can dress up however you want on the last day of the month, but it's also about how you decorate certain aspects of your life. Other things like your car, you could definitely add a spooky aesthetic to your car, like orange, purple tones. You can completely decorate your room in a certain way that fits and it makes sense. And that's how you shift. Some people do it to themselves, some people do it to their environment, some people do both. And that's cool. That's what I want to do. That's what I think is really fun about this holiday, is that you can embrace all of the dark things about the world. Like, nobody likes spiders, but now you can, like, I love spiders. It creates a little moment for these things that people disdain or normally wouldn't care about or like, and it gives them the opportunity to be like, oh yeah, like, I hate this thing, but for this time of the year, it works. I like it. It's cool. It's fun. So another topic another thing, continuing with that, I want to say Spirit Halloween. Let's give a big shout out to Spirit Halloween. Spirit Halloween, you're doing it right. You're doing it good. You're doing us perfectly, because I think they've really, instead of just doing it in October, I don't know if they've always done this. Maybe they have, but they've really started prepping and setting up for what's to come. So in September, I know it was like late August, early September, there were already stores open and people were in there shopping, getting all of their stuff ready. And that's genius. They definitely did it at the right time when people knew that they had to get ready for Halloween. And that way they could have enough stock. So that way when people come at the last minute or they need something really quick, or they maybe need some sort of decor or something funny or Halloween-like or witch-like or something, they can just take it with them, buy it right then and there and take it, you know? Which I think is really great. And then obviously you have that after October crash where everything is just like, they let everything on sale because they have like too much of something and they need to get rid of it. And you're like, yes, I'll take all of it because nobody's going to buy it now at like full price. So then you have to cut it in half or lower than that just so that way you can get rid of it and you can make some money off of it, which is the same thing with the candy that they do. But Spirit Halloween has all of your decor needs. Anything that you would practically need to like really change your room, to really change your lifestyle, your environment. That's what it's all about. You got to change your environment. It's got to fit the mood of the year. I'm sure there's somebody in like, let's say New Hampshire, and they're definitely in the fall mood. Like the leaves are changing colors, they're falling down, there's piles, they're raking the leaves, they're working a lawn job. Or maybe they're just working in their backyard and they're just like trying to clean up all the leaves and get ready for the Halloween season. And they just need that little reminder that it's spooky season, that it's time for frightening, it's time for being cool and having fun. Because this is really the only holiday that we're allowed to have fun. Like everything else, I mean, yes, you can have fun on other holidays, like the upcoming holidays are also fun, but this one's the real one where it's like dangerous kind of fun. Like anything can happen kind of fun, where maybe something happens over here or there and it's all over the place. It's a wild night is what I'm trying to say. It gets wild. More wild than it should, but it happens. And sometimes you got to think, what if Halloween was completely different? Like, what if it was a complete shift? What if Halloween was like pink? You're like, that doesn't work. Like, there's no way. It's a complete waste of the holiday, you know? Because there has to be like an alternate reality, another universe where that's the reality, where it's like Halloween has always been pink and purple and it's always been like lovey-dovey and cute. Like if Valentine's Day and Halloween switched, you're like, this is Valentine's Day. Are you out of your mind? Just imagine if that was the case. Like, it's so weird to think about. So instead, what we have to remember right here, right now, is that you have to get in the spirit of it all. So you got to go to Spirit Halloween. First things first. When you're getting ready for Halloween, you got to go to Spirit Halloween. You got to dress up goth. And you definitely have to change your whole environment. You got to change your bed sheets to Halloween theme, to pumpkins. You got to buy pumpkins. That's what you have to do as well. You have to get garlic. You have to get stakes so you can stab vampires. You got to get a silver bullet so you can shoot werewolves. You have to, what else is there? I mean, there's just so many things that you have to do. You got to buy a bat. You got to buy a bat because you know they're going to transform into a vampire. And that's when you can really become a vampire hunter. That's what That's what's really cool. You got to get one of those ghost detecting machines so that way you can go out at night and be like, I knew there was a ghost in my house. I knew there was something creepy under my bed. There was demons under there trying to claw at me every second of the day. And I'm afraid to like let my foot out from the blanket because I'm afraid they're going to grab me. But they don't because they know that I can't be killed. I am immortal. So Halloween is really a time where it's okay for us to, it's good to be bad. It's good to like embrace the bad things in life. Like I wouldn't see anybody normally on a regular basis like embrace spiders or be like, spiders are so cool. Let me see that tarantula. Let me hug that tarantula. Let me grab this snake and pet it and just be like, we're best buds. You don't see that day to day. But during Halloween, it's embraced. You gotta show love to the things that are deadly, you know? You gotta love what's poisonous and what could kill you. So scorpions are loved, spiders, rattlesnakes, regular snakes, all kinds of things. Witchcraft is deemed appropriate. Like what if there were actually witches in today's time? But nobody cares because we have technology now. It's like, oh, you shot smoke out of your fingers. Oh, that's cool. I have a fog machine. It's like nobody cares about witches anymore. And you're just sitting there and you're like, if there were really witches, they would have to do something so monumental, something so crazy just to get our attention. And even then we would be like, yeah, these girls are freaks. They just melted a man in some boiling water. I could do that too, but I mean, what did it really do? And they like got eternal youth from it, and you're just like, yeah, they're just young, crazy women who are gonna go to jail, and they're gonna rot in prison, and everybody's gonna be like, what happened? How'd you get in prison? They're like, yeah, we melted a guy in some boiling water so we could create this eternal youth potion. And you're like, what? And then they get shanked, they get stabbed in the prison, and they're like, they start dying. And it's okay because it's Halloween. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's good to be bad. This is the only holiday where it's good to be bad. You can't be bad on Christmas, right? If you try to be bad on Christmas, you're going to get cold. But if you're bad on Halloween, it's accepted. Everybody's like, yes, this is how you get the bad out so you can be good for Christmas and for Thanksgiving. So that way you can really enjoy the time with your family. You gotta just let the evil out of you every once in a while, You ever see somebody let the evil out of them? You're just like, I know you needed to let that out, and I'm glad you did it now, so that way we can enjoy the rest of the thing. It's like you're going on a road trip, and you get like a full meltdown, and then the next day you're like, all right, we're going on a trip to the Grand Canyon, kids. And you're just like, oh, okay, we can have fun because we already yelled at each other the day before, so now we can go on the trip and be happy, So it's good to be bad in October, and this is all month long. You're allowed to be bad. You're allowed to do things that you would never normally do. And this is how you get ready for Halloween, so that way on the final night, you don't have to go completely crazy. You don't have to go over the top because you've let it out throughout the whole month. If people understood that, that's why everybody holds it in. They hold it in all throughout the month, and then on Halloween, they go extra crazy. These are the people who take it too far. They take it too far, and you're like, what was that? Like, we were all doing this, we were doing this little by little throughout the month. We didn't just explode on the final night, and then now you're like dissatisfied with yourself because you're just like, man, if only I had let it out in little bursts, If only I had just really slowly let it out piece by piece by piece. And then on the final day, we ended with a nice finisher, a nice finale. But again, it's good to be bad all throughout October. It's good to be bad. It's good to get that piercing that your mom said you couldn't have, or your dad said that you couldn't get. It's okay to get that tattoo that you've always wanted, but you'll be disowned if you do. It's okay to dye your hair and to go completely goth and change your whole personality just for October. And then November comes around and you're like, do I really want to stick with this? And the answer is no, because you were just going through it for October. And you feel happy about that because it was always going to be a time where you can go back to that during that month. And it's always going to be a special month where you can really tune into that part of yourself. And as we go on through, and we let all of this out, we do this through events. We let the bad out throughout all the different types of events throughout the month. And these can be parties, we can go to the pumpkin patches, we can go to those corn mazes and just wild out because it's just corn. It's just corn, and you're kind of sitting there like, who cares if I'm mean to corn? Nobody cares if I yell at corn. You ever see somebody yell at corn? No, because nobody cares. And if you have, you just accept it and you say, oh, that's okay. Like, that's allowed. That's totally fine in my eyes. Because if they did that to that, they're not going to do it to me. They just let it out on the corn. But the only person who wouldn't like that is that kid who likes corn. Oh my gosh, that kid is so funny. I bet you he goes to the corn maze. I bet you he opens the largest corn maze in the world, and he's just like, he gets paid money, and people do meet and greets with him. They're like, hey, do you want some more corn? And he's like, yes, I want more corn. I love corn. It's the best thing. But you also go to the pumpkin patches, you get some pumpkins. Buy some pumpkins, people. This is a bad thing. This is good to be bad. It's good to buy more pumpkins because this is the only time people really buy them. When was the last time you bought a pumpkin in like January or in June? You don't do it then. You don't. That's not what it's about. You buy them now when it's spooky season. And you carve them, and you put some weird design on it, some cool design, some scary design. And you do something fun with it. You don't waste the pumpkin, because that's bad. And that's a waste. And that's not a good bad, that's a bad bad, if you know what I mean. You don't waste a pumpkin on October. During spooky season, it's a crime. Just like Halloween being on Monday. I can't believe Halloween is on Monday. In what universe has Halloween ever been, like, super fantastic on a Monday? It's a complete waste of the holiday. It really, like, why can't it just be the whole weekend? Can we collectively, as a people, as a society, say, no Halloween on Monday? Like, even though it's the last day of the year, last day of October, which is when Halloween is supposed to be, let's just say, hey, it's that whole weekend, or just that Saturday. It's always the last Saturday of the month. That's the rule. If it's anything else, we just go like, yeah, it's technically Halloween, but we're not going to really celebrate it as such. You know, because Halloween, it stings a little bit that it's on a Monday. There's just something about it, especially because I don't know what it was last year. I don't know if it was on the weekend or if it was what it was, but I can only imagine that now, because we're a little bit more, we're 2 years past the full lockdown of the pandemic, right? 2021, we were a little bit more out there. 2022, we could be out there even more. But now Halloween is on a Monday. It sucks. It really sucks. But you still have Halloween parties. You still have the opportunity to have Halloween-themed parties. And you're going to see like every social media influencer go to these parties, and they're going to dress up in a different costume like weekend after weekend after weekend. You're going to be like, man, I wish I was them. I wish I was being cool and young and doing all of these big parties like they're doing and dressing up in Halloween costumes. But you got to realize that they're not all that spectacular, any more different than yours. You just got to know how to live it up. You got to make those frosted cookies. You just got to enjoy yourself. You got to watch spooky movies with all of your friends around you and just yell and scream for no reason or laugh at it like I do. I love horror movies because I don't find them scary at all. I think they're hilarious. They're like, why are you daring to run alone in the woods at night? Like, come on. Be smart. Be really logical about this. Anyways, there has to be something said about Halloween and deciding your whole costume. There's a whole world about just Halloween costumes. There's the typical. You have your typical, right? You have your Harley Quinns, you got your Jokers, you got your I guess you have your Winnie the Poohs, you have your typical stuff, right? And then you have the people that do it a little bit weirder, a little bit different, but a lot more fun. Like they'll do like a cross between like a zombie and they'll do like Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite, right? So it's like vote for Pedro, but he's also like a zombie. That's where it gets fun. That's where it gets creative. You also have the makeup for costumes. So depending on what you dress up as, makeup is really a big thing for Halloween. It's the biggest time of the year for anybody who does makeup because it's all about the latex, it's about the blood, it's about the zombification or the Dracula or maybe even a werewolf, you know? It's become such a big popular thing, makeup, that it has to be a part of your look. If that's what you're going for, you know. I'm not going for that. I'm not, going to paint my face or whatnot, but if that's what you have to do for Halloween, you do it. It's all for fun. And sometimes there's some really, really funny costumes. Like you dress up as, I guess, people dress up as Napoleon Dynamite. People dress up as the Powerpuff Girls is a really fun example of like how people really just embrace certain characters and they just roll with it. They have fun and they do a good job with it. There's also the weird, just the typical. You have your typical Jokers. I don't like the Joker costume anymore. I mean, there's so many different iterations of it that you could copy and like do for yourself, but it's always just such a basic look. It's always like, it's Halloween time, it's time to dress up as the Joker. It just doesn't feel right anymore. It doesn't feel good. And Batman as well. And I myself am more of a whatever I'm in the mood for. So for me, I was just like, this year I'm going to dress up as Winnie the Pooh. I'm just going to have fun, because I want to do those, you ever see that meme where it's like Winnie the Pooh and he's dancing to Hotel Room Service by Pitbull and he's like, yeah, I want to do those and just like send them to all my friends and be like, Happy Halloween and stuff. Just be funny like that. And there's all of those, animated like Winnie the Pooh like edits that they have, memes like videos and stuff that I also want to recreate and have fun with. So that's why I chose this. And it's also an iconic character. It's also part of my childhood and I just think it would be really fun. And if you don't have a fire costume, if you don't commit to a costume, nobody will ever forget it. Everybody will be like, oh, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about Halloween. He's just wearing a Michael Myers mask, right? He doesn't care about what we're doing. He doesn't care about the spirit of Halloween. You're not committing to the holiday. You're just kind of like, you're just putting the tip in on the holiday. You don't do that. Not on Halloween. You go balls deep into Halloween and you commit to a costume. And that's your costume. You can't. If you ever like change costumes midway through Halloween, you're the worst person ever. You are literally, who does that? You commit to one look. You commit to one look and that's it. If you change it midway through Halloween, you have tainted you have tainted your soul. You have to commit to one costume. Now, if you dress up on multiple different nights, then it's like, all right, that's acceptable. I can accept that. That makes sense to me. That works for me. Because it's, a different person every night. I think that's fun. I think that's fine. But if you change costumes during Halloween, no. That is also illegal. Just like Halloween being on Monday. Why is Halloween on Monday? Just make it the 29th on Saturday and we're good. Everything is okay. Because we can't, realistically, who wants Halloween on a Monday? Who wants that? Nobody wants that. But if it just falls on it, we have to accept it? No. Let's change it up. Let's, as a people, as a society, decide. No. Man, I'm dying in this thing. But it's nice. I'm committing. I am committing to this. I am going to wear this every single week for spooky season. Every single podcast episode for spooky season. So definitely check it out on YouTube for all my audio listeners. It's really nice. It's cool. I'm going to do it like this for now. So that way you can really see. It looks like it's eating me, but that's kind of fun. Shout out to Midsummer. Anyways, the final thing about when you're getting ready for Halloween is the candy. If you don't get good, like if you get just the bottom of the barrel candy, you have wasted everybody's time. Because first of all, you can't do the kids like that, right? I don't go trick-or-treating anymore, right? I go to Halloween parties and I eat candy by myself while watching horror movies, you know? I don't go trick-or-treating anymore all that much. I mean, maybe one house, I guess. I don't know. But for the kids, you got to do right by the kids. You got to give them full-size candy bars. You got to give them the good stuff. You can't just cheap out on them or just give them whatever. Isn't that the weirdest thing when you're like, why did I get like this off-brand version of like a Starburst? You're like, I'm still going to eat it, but it's like, why did I get this? Like, I couldn't get a real Starburst. And then and then you get those people who run out of the candy and you're like, you knew this day was coming up. You knew this moment was coming and you knew that everybody was going to come to your house for candy and you just don't have any. You did it wrong. You did us wrong. And that's why you have to be ready. This is why now is the time. Yes, the prices are going to go up. Yes, they're going to charge you more than you should for some Skittles and Hershey's bars. But you got to do it. You got to do what's right for the kids, for the children. This isn't about me. This isn't about anybody else. It's about the kids. They have to have a good Halloween. And they won't be able to get it with like some Tootsie Roll. Like what? Like those get thrown back at you. Like if you give me a Tootsie Roll, we're throwing it at you because it's like that's a waste of candy. Sorry to anybody who likes Tootsie Rolls. You know, it's not that I hate them. It's just that, like, it just tastes like chocolate plastic. And I can't eat it. So, when you're getting ready for Halloween, these are the basics. You do it on a weekend, all right? When you're getting ready for Halloween, you always do Halloween trick-or-treating on a weekend. You never do it on a Monday. That is number one, okay? Number two, you do a horror movie marathon every single night, or at least on the weekends, when you have the time. So you watch horror movies and you do it throughout the month. So that way you really soak it all in. Then you change your aesthetic. You get the spooky aesthetic going. You get your decor. You get decorations from Spirit Halloween. You turn emo or goth. You get that piercing, that tattoo. You change your hair. You do whatever you need to do and get that deep darkness within yourself. You put it out there in the world and you just see, oh, it's okay because it's October. You're allowed to be bad. You're allowed to be bad during this month. That's a rule. It's one of the things that people accept about this time of the year. You got to go to parties, Halloween parties. You got to go to the pumpkin patch, run through the Coors maze, say hi to the little kid who loves corn, take a photo with him if you can, eat some corn with him. You got to commit to a costume. If you don't commit to a costume, you've wasted it. You've completely wasted it. You have to commit. Or find multiple costumes that you can wear throughout the whole month and like go to events and parties in the pumpkin patches with. You can't just stay at home and do that. And then finally, you got to get your candy game up. You gotta candy is really currency during October. If you don't have it, you've wasted it. This is the only time it's acceptable. I mean, next month it's going to be heavy on the food, and then the month after that it's big on sweets. So candy now is really the best time to stock on the rest of the holidays. You can prepare for what's to come. So this is the pre-holiday holiday, if that makes sense. So that's what you got to do when you're getting ready for Halloween. And those are some of the small tips, You can create your own party. You can do your own thing. You can make your own costume. Have fun. That's what it's all about. Having fun and being yourself and just feeling like you can do anything you want. And that's why I'm wearing this Winnie the Pooh onesie, and I'm going to continue wearing it throughout spooky season. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Definitely check me out on YouTube, the When Your Podcast with Eduardo Gonzalez. And yeah, listen to me everywhere you can get your podcast. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys all next time.